Hi, my name's Katie, welcome back to my channel. In this video we're going to do a full face testing out e.l.f. makeup. I have tried a few e.l.f. makeup products before. I've tried a bronzer, a highlighter, an eyebrow pencil. I think that's what I've tried, so I have tried a couple of e.l.f. products before, so it's not a completely new brand to me or anything. But I thought for this video I would literally just buy a whole face of e.l.f. makeup, and I spent a lot of money. It may have been over £100. So I very much hope that we have some good products here. Yeah, I did get an awful lot from e.l.f. We've got a lot to play around with today. Right, so I'm going to start with concealer. I actually got two concealers from e.l.f. So obviously I got the camo one that everyone's talking about. This is the e.l.f. 16-hour camo concealer. I got mine in the shade Fair Warm, which I believe is the second lightest shade. The first one was like a cool one, so obviously I wanted to go for a warm one, but I wanted something pretty pale. It is definitely pale, I will give it that. Yeah, it definitely does lean more warm tone. I'll just do a little swatch of that on my neck. That is lighter than my face, which is amazing, which means I can sort of brighten with this one. But it also means that maybe if I got a few shades down, I could probably get one that actually matches my face. I'll just leave that on my neck so I can swatch the other one next to it. So I also got the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer, which people aren't talking about this one as much as the camo one, but they have had this for a long time, but they added more shades to it recently. So again, I got the second lightest one, which is also called Fair Warm, because again, the lightest shade is more pink toned. So I'll do a swatch of this one next to that. Yeah, this one is definitely deeper than the camo one. The camo one has definitely got a better shade range. Yeah, it's definitely quite a bit deeper. I think I would prefer that one to be a little bit lighter. I think when I use them on my face, I might use the camo under my eyes and then use this one on blemishes and stuff, just because this one is lighter. This one is maybe a tiny bit deeper than my face, but we'll make it work. Before I use them over foundation, I am just going to test them both in my eye area to see what the coverage is like by itself. So I'm going to start with the camo concealer and just pop some of this on this eye and on my eyelid, so then you can see side by side what it's like with and without concealer. Don't know if that's too much, not enough, we'll find out. Well, hello, coverage. Jesus Christ, I wasn't expecting that to be full coverage, but that is full coverage. I actually think this is better than the L'Oreal Infallible one, which I feel like those two have been being compared to each other recently. In my opinion, this one has better coverage than the L'Oreal one. And I also think I like how it sits under there a bit. I will admit it has kind of sunk into that line a bit. Does look a little bit crepey, but hopefully it should work better over the top of foundation. But I am super impressed with that coverage. That is full coverage, and from a drugstore concealer, I am really impressed with that. I'm actually really impressed with the coverage. A little bit crepey though, I will say, but I'm finding that with a lot of concealers recently. So I think what I might do actually is just keep that on and then put the Flawless Concealer in the other eye so I can see what the two coverages are like side to side, and then I'll wipe off the camo one so you can see what it's like with no concealer and the Flawless Concealer. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, so let's go in with Flawless one. This obviously has got a smaller doe foot than the camo one. Yeah, it's definitely quite a bit darker. Okay, so that Flawless one definitely doesn't have as good coverage on this eye here. I can still see a bit of a purple kind of shadow here, so it's not as good coverage. I'll just try and get both eyes in the frame there. This is Flawless, this is camo. Yeah, it definitely doesn't have as good coverage. It's got some coverage, definitely. And this one is a bit more lightweight and moisturizing feeling. This one I feel is a little bit drier in formula. What we really need is a balance between being quite lightweight, hydrating, and not too dry, but then with this sort of coverage, we need that balance, I think, in a concealer. I do like this though. I would have liked a bit better coverage from this. I quite like how it's kind of sat in my eye area. So I'm just going to wipe off the camo concealer on this side so you can see what the Flawless one is like next to my bare skin. Okay, so that's just side by side now with no concealer on the other eye. Yeah, it definitely does have some coverage, but I don't know if you'll see it on camera, but I can just still see my purple circle under there. It's definitely still poking through. But yeah, obviously some nice coverage, and I quite like the finish of it, so Don't hate the concealer, absolutely not. I just would have liked it to have a little bit more coverage. Would have liked it to have like the camo level coverage. So for eyeshadow, I'm going to do one eye off camera and then recreate it on the other eye for you, just so that way I can actually get a look that I'm happy with. But the eyeshadow palette that I have got to try out from e.l.f. is the e.l.f. 18 Hit Wonders palette. It looks like this. Very colourful palette, but then it's also got some more kind of neutral shades in it as well, which I do quite like palettes like that, where you can kind of get the best of both worlds. I think it looks absolutely stunning, definitely. Really like this sort of like greeny colour. Like, I definitely think moss is a good word to describe it. I feel like I should definitely use that one. So I'm just going to go ahead, finish prepping my eyes, and then do one eyeshadow look on one eye and hopefully be able to recreate it on the other eye. Right, so I have done one eye. I'm happy with how it's turned out. I'm super impressed with the quality of the eyeshadows. Like, look at the shimmer. Look at those mattes. Those mattes blended amazingly. The shimmers are insane. Like, yes please. Thank you very much, e.l.f. I'm now going to try and recreate what I did on camera on the other eye. So I'm starting with this light peach colour that's called Peachy. I like how literal the names are here. I'm using like a bigger blending brush, and I'm just starting by popping a bit of this on above the crease, just as a starting point. Then going in with the bright orange shade called Summer, which is this one here. Using the same brush, but again, just going below that. Switching to a smaller brush now, I'm going to use this red shade called Heat. It has got a few little glitter flecks in it, but I feel like it comes out sort of matte looking. Yes, I'm popping that one underneath as well. Then we're going in with this dark sort of maroon shade called Supreme. This one here got a bit of a purpley tone. That's going in the outer third. Normally I find when I'm trying to apply like a slightly deeper eyeshadow to the outer third, it doesn't always blend the way I want it to, or like show up the way I want it to, but I've not actually had any issues with this when I did it on the other eye. So I'm really impressed with that. Right, I'm now using the camo concealer, and I'm just going to dot a bit like here, and then use a brush to cut back the crease. And then using this silver shade called Vibrant, and this is like insanely pigmented, and I'll use a mix of my finger and a brush, and that's just kind of going in the center. Like, this is amazing. Like, this shade is harvesting my crops. And I'm using this shade called Moss, which like it has loads of different colour reflex coming off it. It's sort of greeny, sort of goldy. Again, I'm going to use a mix of my finger and a brush, probably more so the brush actually. Then I'm going to use a bit of this light pale pink called Pave or Pave, I don't know. There's an accent on it, so I'm going to go Pave, maybe. And that's going under my brow bone. Alright, and there you go. That is my eyeshadow done. I'm happy with it. Again, symmetry probably isn't 100% perfect, but you know, we can live with that. I'm incredibly impressed with this eyeshadow palette, and like, I don't really have any expectations, to be honest. Like, I haven't really heard a lot about these because they are fairly new. But I'm super impressed with the shades that I've used anyway. Like, those mattes like were pigmented and they blended super well. Those shimmers are like absolutely stunning. So yes please, more of this please. Thank you. Okay, so we'll move on to eyeliner now. I got the No Budge retractable liner in the shade Black, which is just a standard twisty up one. They did also have like a black coal as well, which, you know, I might pick up at some point in the future. Pretty standard. Seems like it's got some decent pigmentation. Seems fairly like smooth. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this in my top and bottom waterlines. Okay, well there you go. That showed up really well. Dramatic, fairly smooth to apply. Happy with that. Hopefully it lasts good. So the mascara that I have is the e.l.f. Keep Your Curl mascara in black. I just went for one of the ones that had like good reviews, so obviously I sorted it by like top rated. And this was one of the ones like in the top row, so hopefully it's decent. It's got like a curved one, sort of like the Maybelline Lash Sensational. God, I have not used the Maybelline Lash Sensational in like ages. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply this to the top lashes and see if we get any volume from it. Right, there you go, those are the lashes. I have to say, I'm actually pretty impressed with this mascara. There's some definite volume there. Also really lengthening. I think this is a very lengthening mascara, definitely, but it also does have volume as well. And I wasn't really expecting much because I don't think that e.l.f. is really renowned for like their mascaras. I feel like when I think of good mascara brands, I think like L'Oreal, Maybelline, but this is good. e.l.f. has impressed me with this mascara. I'm really happy with that. So we'll move on to base now. I did want to get the like poreless putty primer just because loads of people have been talking about that one, and I have nasty pores, but it was out of stock when I wanted to buy it because I got these all from the e.l.f. website. So we'll just go straight on to foundation. So obviously I got the Flawless Finish foundation because this is the one that, you know, everyone's been on about. I got mine in the lightest shade, which I think is Lily, which was described as having warm undertones, so obviously I went for that. Maybe slightly too light for me, but we could potentially fix that. I say that because I did also get 2 of their mix to match adjusters. I got a white one, obviously. A lot of foundations are too dark for me, so I need white mixes. I also got the golden one, so this is obviously supposed to like give your foundations more of a golden undertone, which I have more like yellowy, goldy undertones, so sometimes if I found the foundation is a bit too neutral or a bit too pink, I feel like something like this would be beneficial. They are quite small, just saying. But I also feel like this sort of thing, if I had a foundation that's too light for me, this could also maybe like deepen it a tiny bit. So I might actually pop a little bit of this in to this today, just because I think this is a tiny bit light for me. Saying that, I'll do a swatch of it on my neck. Oh my god, that was way too much. I don't know actually, I wouldn't say it's that much lighter than my face, maybe like a tiny bit. You know what, I might have added the gold one and just use the foundation on its own so that there's no like altercations with the formula of anything. Right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and blend this in all over my face. It's quite thick, the formula actually. Ooh, it's quite fragranced. I know a lot of people don't like foundations that are fragranced. I mean, I have nothing against it personally. I don't know if it's like irritating or something to the skin fragrance. I honestly don't really know. But it does, like it smells like a perfume that like old women wear, which is fine, because I am an old woman at heart. Right, okay, I think I've got enough of that on. It definitely is a tiny bit lighter than my neck, but only like ever so slightly, and if it oxidizes then I think it'd be a perfect match. But obviously I've got that golden thing if I do want to make it a tiny bit darker. But I like this. I like the coverage. I would say it's like it's solid, like medium coverage. It's definitely not full coverage, but that's personally fine for me. I feel like it's sitting pretty nicely on the skin. Like it does sit on my texture slightly, but I find this with all foundations, it's kind of just hard for me to avoid. I feel like it just looks quite fresh looking, which is nice. Like I overall feel like I definitely like how this looks on my face. Nothing like obviously wrong with it, I'm noticing. I think I like this on first impressions. We'll go in with the camo concealer, and I will put this one under my eyes because I definitely want to highlight and brighten that area. And then I'll use the Flawless one just on any blemishes around the face. I mean, yes to that coverage, like, yes. But we're going with Flawless concealer, and I'm just going to pop a bit of this on my nose and just around my mouth if I've got any more kind of areas I want to conceal. Okay, yes, we are happy with the coverage. If I'm being completely honest, yeah, it definitely does sink quite a bit into like my lines under my eyes, the concealer. Definitely. I do feel like it overall does look quite smooth. Like it's not super dry or anything, but like I feel like I found a lot of really like drier concealers lately, like that L'Oreal one for example. This one I feel like I like better than that, but obviously I am noticing that it does sink into that line quite a bit. Hopefully we can pat it out and set it down and it will go away, we'll see. So I brought like 50 setting powders. Well, I brought 4 setting powders. I got 2 loose ones and 2 pressed ones. I also got a powder brush. This is the powder blurring brush, which I'll use. Obviously I won't use it under my eyes because it's a bit too big, but I'll try this one out on the rest of my face. So the first powder I got was the matte setting powder in the shade Light, which is a loose powder. I think this is a newer one. Yeah, it comes in this sort of packaging. That's what the colour's like. It definitely does look like it's a little bit more yellow toned. Hopefully it's not too dark for me. Also got the Oil Control Blotting Powder Sheer. That one definitely looks really pale. Shouldn't have any issues with the colour of that one. The e.l.f. Beautifully Bare Sheer Tint Finishing Powder in Fair/Light, which I know this one's been around for a while, definitely. This one I was kind of gambling with the colour, like I wasn't sure if it would be a bit too dark. I feel like looking at it there, this may be a little bit dark. I don't know. No, I feel like it does look like it might come out a little bit orangey. And I also got the e.l.f. Beauty Shield Antioxidant Armoured Setting Powder in Sheer/Natural, which again, I think this is also a newish one. And again, it's a similar colour to that matte one, like quite yellow toned. I hope this isn't too dark. You know what? I think I might try and use all of them. Like, obviously I've got 2 loose ones, so I could do the loose ones on either side of my eyes and then the 2 pressed ones on either side of my outer face. Let's go crazy. Shall we do that? Why not? Okay, so we'll start with the loose matte setting powder. Tapped a bit off in the lid. I'm just going to press out the crease under my eyes with my sponge that I've been using, and then I'm going to go onto another sponge and try and I'm not going to properly bake. I'm just going to set it with the sponge, because sometimes I find you do get a nicer finish that way. I feel like my sponge was slightly wet, which did not help. Why have I done this? Okay, I do feel like there's a bit of like a shadow there, like maybe it is a little bit deep for me. Okay, so let's try the Beauty Shield out on the other side. I feel like they both look really similar. Again, I do feel like this one's a tiny bit dark too. Okay, so we'll go to the Oil Control Blotting Powder, and I'm going to use that new e.l.f. brush, and we'll set the rest of the face with this, on this side anyway. Not sure about the brush, it feels a little bit scratchy, like it works, but it's a little bit scratchy. Maybe I just need to get used to using it. But that Oil Control Blotting Powder seems like it's worked pretty good. No colour issue with that one. Definitely mattified my face really well. Feels quite soft. Not noticing any issues with that. Obviously I'll have to see what that one's like under the eyes, because that's the ultimate test. So I'll go into the Sheer Finishing Powder, the one that I think is going to be a little bit dark, but you know what? Who cares? We'll just have 2 uneven sides of our face today. And we'll set the other side. Okay, I do think that one may be a tiny bit dark, like it's hard to tell at the moment, but finish of that one seems nice as well. Overall, I think the finish is okay. Like, it has sunk into that line a bit, but like that could have been because I put too much on, or the way I applied it with the sponge. It hasn't separated my concealer though, that some powders do, so I like that. And it doesn't look like super heavy. Like, it has sunk into the line, but it doesn't look really heavy at the same time. So I think the finishes of the powders are actually quite nice. Like, overall, I feel like my face looks good now that it's been mattified. It's just there may be a few colour issues, so we'll see about that. But obviously I will keep testing out these powders over the month. So moving on to bronzer now. This one is literally just called the bronzer, and it's in the shade Sunkissed. It's just a fairly standard normal bronzer. Colour looks like it should be okay. Maybe like a tiny bit of shimmer in there, but I'd say it's mainly a matte bronzer. I did also get this brush for free. It's described as a blush brush, but I feel like that could work quite nicely for like bronzer, just because you can kind of like get into your cheek area quite well. So I think I'll use this. This was a freebie. It also came with like a little blush lash highlight thing, which I might use, I'm not sure yet. I think this was like £3, so I hope this is a nice bronzer. I'm not actually sure if I like it with this brush. I think maybe this brush is better for like contour because of that angle, because I feel like it's kind of gone a bit strange. But we started, so we'll carry on. Okay, I've applied that so badly. Like, why have I gone down so low? What have I done? I'm going to try and blend it out. Okay, it looks alright on this side. That side's fine. Forehead's fine. I've just applied it so weird and it's gone proper patchy on this side and it looks like a mess. But I think the bronzer itself is probably okay. I just would not use this brush with it. That is That has gone wrong. It looks so patchy now. There's just this like spot here. Oh, how do I get rid of this? Don't think I can. Add a bit of powder over the top of it and see if that will help me a little bit. Colour seems like it works pretty well. I will just not use that brush in the future. I think this could be a nice bronzer. I've just botched application there. Yeah, I also got this for free. It's the highlighter and blush, and it looks like this, and I've heard that like you kind of need to scrape at e.l.f. highlighters a bit to get them to work quite well. I mean, I might try and see if I can get a little bit of this blush on. I think that blush actually could be quite nice. I quite like blushes that have a bit of a glow to them. Obviously I've got the highlighter in that, but the highlighter that I actually brought is the Metallic Flare highlighter in white gold, which looks like this. It was the lightest shade. I'm hoping that it should be pale enough for me. Yeah, I've heard you need to scrape at these a little bit, so I might just scrape it a little bit and then blow away the excess and then pop it on. Right, I've scraped it a bit, so I'm just going to use my standard highlighter brush and see what we can get here. Okay, I really like that. That is super pretty. It's not too dark, definitely. The colour works fine, just very champagne-y. A bit more of a natural colour for me. I mean, that showed up really well. It's not like the most blinding highlighter, but I don't really mind that because I like sort of more subdued ones as well as blinding ones. So we move on to eyebrows now. I got 2 eyebrow products. So first one is the Wow Brow in the shade Deep Brown, which I think came out quite recently, and I love me a tinted brow gel. So happy that they released this. Right, let's have a look at the wand. Is it going to be small? Let's hope it is. I think the size of that wand looks like it's going to work quite well. For me, it's like the smaller the better, so happy with that. Got a good feeling. I also got one of their micro brow pencils. This is just called the Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. Mine's also in the shade Deep Brown. So my favourite sort of thing to do with my brows is to use a sort of gel like this and then touch it up with a micro brow pencil. So e.l.f. really came through for me in that department, so let's hope the quality of them is actually good. And there's not too much excess, like a little bit that I'm having to tap off, but not a lot. So we'll go in with the tinted gel. I like that eyebrow gel. That is effective. That has done what I want. So let's try the micro brow pencil out just to define it a little bit more. I am happy with those brows. Those products work really well. Could be new favourites. Very happy with that. So I'm going to pop a bit of the Metallic Flare highlighter in my inner corner. I think I'm just going to sort of repeat the transition shades under my eyes. Going in with Summer, the bright orange again. Then going in with the red called Heat again, and that's just going closer to the lash line. Then going even closer with Summer, the maroony colour. Gonna pop some mascara on my bottom lashes. So I just got the lips now. I did get 2 lip products, so we'll try both of them out. I'll start with the more dramatic one. This is the matte lip colour in the shade Scarlet Night. It's quite a dark red colour, and it's just kind of one of these twisty up crayon sort of things. Quite like a berry toned colour. Seems like it's going to be quite matte. I'll try this one out first and then wipe it off and try the other one. I actually quite like the crown way to like apply lipstick, because you can just literally just draw it on. Obviously it's quite like a matte formula, but like it's not super dry, like it's creamy to apply. It's very opaque. I actually really like the colour. Not something I'd wear every day, but I do like this colour. It's a bit more autumnal, I'd say. I think I really like that lip product actually. I am going to wipe it off and try the other one. So the other lip product I've got is the Velvet Matte Lipstick in the shade Blushing Brown, which is shockingly a nude bullet lip. my favourite thing. It looks like this, and yeah, it is just a very like browny, nudie sort of colour. Very up my street. So let's pop this on. Oh my god. You can taste it. It tastes sugary. Why the damn hell does it taste like sugar? Okay, it's actually a little bit deeper than I thought it was going to be. More like a deeper brown, but it's still a pretty colour. I still like it, and glided on really nicely. Pretty easy to apply. Quite nice. I'm just going to sort my hair out and clean up my mascara mess, and I'll be back. Right, okay, so this is my finished look. I full face of e.l.f. makeup, and I have to say, I'm very impressed with pretty much everything that I've tried. Like, this has gone really well in my opinion. The only thing that went like a little bit wrong was my bronzer went a bit patchy, but I think that was because of the brush, not because of the bronzer. I mean, I'm not 100% sure about the colours of some of the powders, but I'll need to test that out a bit more. But really, I feel like this has gone so well. The base product seemed really nice. The eyebrows look great. The eyeshadow was incredible. I was so impressed with the eyeshadow palette. Really like the mascara, really like the eyeliner, really like the lip products. The highlighter's really nice. Overall, this has gone really well. I was not expecting to find so many good products. Like, I thought we'd find like, you know, a few good products. I didn't think that they'd all be pretty much good. Yeah, I definitely would recommend trying some e.l.f. products based on this video. I think it's gone really well. Like, I actually really like this eyeshadow. Like, that is just so good. I'm going to be doing an April-May makeup recap, which will feature these products in it. So if I've got any updated thoughts or any elaborations on opinions I've had in this video, that will be in that video. I'm also doing a video where I'm like retrying like my entire foundation collection. So obviously this foundation is going to be in that, but that video is probably going to be out, I don't know, maybe the end of June. I don't know, because I'm going to split it up into parts because I've got like about 50 foundations in my collection. Yes, this is definitely not the last you'll hear of these products. I will speak about them again in about a month's time. But from first impressions, I'm really liking everything. I'm actually super happy, like, had a good time here. So that's all for this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.